Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Happy Healthy Guts. Today we are making a probiotic and sugar free, low carb blueberry jam. Blueberry jam, it's delicious as a topping to sugar free cheesecake, or perhaps you want to make some grain free bagels as well, which we have the recipe for, and it's a lovely sweet yet a little bit tangy jam that you can use as a dessert, but also if you're having some grain free bread or toast as well, you can put it there. We love it on top of kefir or yogurt ice cream as well. It's really delicious. So I'm going to show you how quickly it is to make the blueberry one. We also love making other berries such as strawberry jam and raspberry jam as well. The only recipe that we hadn't done with you is and shared with you was the blueberry, so I want to show you how quickly it is to make and how delicious it is. I hope that you do try it and let us know what you think. So we're going to start with 2 cups of blueberries. You can use either fresh blueberries, but you could even use frozen blueberries. So I'm going to put 2 cups of blueberries in our pot on low heat. And we're going just to let it start to heat. So the next ingredient is we need the juice of half a lemon, or you can also use lime if that's what you have. And what we're going to do first with the lemon is we're going to put it in a little container, because what we are going to do next is we are going to add 2 teaspoons of beef gelatin. If you don't want to add beef gelatin, you don't have to add it. However, it does add to the consistency of your jam. So I added the gelatin to the juice of the lemon, and now the next ingredient that I'm going to add is I have here some blueberry kombucha. If you don't have kombucha, you can completely skip this step. However, we like it because of the probiotic that it's in the kombucha. If you have kombucha, you can also use kefir if you have water kefir, or you can just omit as well, but it will be 1/4 of a cup of blueberry kombucha. We're just dissolving the gelatin or hydrating the gelatin, and we're going to add it to our blueberry mix. Our next ingredient is going to be the sweetener. For the sweetener, you have a couple of options. One is you can use monk fruit sweetener. In this case here, I have liquid sweetener, which is pure monk fruit. If you're using monk fruit liquid sweetener, you would use about 5 drops of your monk fruit liquid sweetener. Another option is powdered monk fruit or erythritol, or a combination of monk fruit and erythritol. In this case, I have pure granulated erythritol here, which you could use. And another alternative, which we have been loving currently, is chicory root syrup. Chicory root syrup is very low in carbohydrates. It's packed with prebiotic and with fiber as well. So, and it's really delicious. It tastes very similar. We find that it tastes very similar to a maple sweetener or maple syrup, maybe a little bit less flavor than maple. It doesn't have any strong flavor, but also it adds a nice consistency and flavor to your jam. So I'm going to be using a combination actually of just 1 tablespoon of powdered erythritol, and I'm going to be adding about 1 tablespoon of the chicory syrup. Chicory syrup you may also find as inulin syrup or inulin powder, which you can use as well. It's the same ingredient. Now, since we added gelatin to our jam, what is going to happen is it's just the texture and the consistency of the jam is going to get a lot better and a lot more similar to jam as it cools down, because obviously, you know, the gelatin would make it go a little bit thicker and denser, and that is when you know that you've got a nice jam. So the one thing that I'm going to do now is just with something that I can press down the blueberries with, I'm just going to mash them a little bit, just in case that some are still whole in that. So, but this is pretty much ready, which is fantastic. You know, it doesn't take long to make. Just going to mash them with a masher here. Smash them, and I'm going to show you now the consistency that this gets. You will notice as it's hot still that it will be a lot more liquidy than you would expect jam to be, but as I mentioned, as it cools down, because of the gelatin, it would thicken. To store your jam, I really like using the clasp glass jars. Normally we will we'll let it cool down first, and then we'll clasp it and keep it in the fridge for 1 week. It definitely lasts 1 week in the fridge, because it has the citric acid from the lemon. It'll keep well. So what I'm going to do now, this is now ready. I'm going to take it out of, remove it from the heat. I'm going to pour it into our glass jam jar or anything, you know, with the clasp. And without sealing it, because it's still hot and you want it to at least come to room temperature before you actually seal it, and then you can put it in the fridge. Label it, put the date on it so that you know what it is, when you made it, and when it's you know, when it will be good to consume too. But there you have it. You get a lovely blueberry jam. I'm going to share a picture later on top of some bagels that we've made, so that you see the texture that it will have once it cools down. As I mentioned, keep it in the fridge up to 1 week. Really delicious, really versatile. Put it on top of cheesecake, put it on top of frozen yogurt, or if you are having, you know, some keto granola as well with your yogurt in the morning, and you want, you know, something sweet that to add to it, you can add a teaspoon of the jam. You can also use it, you know, with keto scones or grain-free bread. It's really versatile, really delicious. I'll show you and share with you a couple of ideas of how you can eat your blueberry jam, and I hope that you do try it. If you have any questions, do let us know, and have a wonderful day. Bye.